morning. On number one, here is your practice test. So it's going to be just like the actual test. We did tell you to use a separate piece of paper because there's too much on here to do on this little piece of paper. So I will apologize in advance. I'm going to have to do a lot of work on the side of the board, but just try to do your best to follow along. Remember, you can always go back and look at this later on YouTube. Our first one is following your directions is critically important. Your directions will be just the same on the test. Estimate each quotient, then calculate. So there's two parts to this. First thing I need to do is estimate. You need to show me your estimation. So on this one, because it said the whole number, I would go 1 divided by 10. So that's going to be about 1/10. Again, estimations make it easy. Because I'm divided by 10, that literally could be anything. We did 8/10, that's fine as well. Your second one is close to 24. The other one's close to 6. Even if you had to round incorrectly to make the numbers good, that's fine because you're estimating. So that should be somewhere around 4. So there will be a little bit of wiggle room on those problems, but those will be very similar to your test.
It's exactly.
Number 2, estimate each sum to the nearest whole number, then determine each sum. Again, 2 parts to each of these questions. Your first one, this is going to be somewhere around 4, 14, and 6. Those are the numbers I would use. Gives me 10, 14, 24. But then I need to do the actuals. So 4, remember when I'm adding decimals, my key rule is I must line up my decimal places. I would recommend adding in trailing zeros to make sure that your handwriting is neat and you line everything up correctly. Now I'm just adding that up. There's 2, 5, 14, 22, 10, 13. My decimal comes straight down. 10, 14, 24. That looks really close to my estimate, so I feel pretty good about that. Okay? My next one, I still need to estimate. So that's going to be about 13, 7, and 3. Gives me 10, 13, somewhere around 23 is my estimate. My actual math, now I'm again going to line up my decimal places. 12 and 89 hundredths, 7 and 45 hundredths, 3 and 5 thousandths, meaning I need to on those two now. Now I just add up my spots. 5, 14, 12, 13. That's what comes down. 10, 13, 23. That's actually really close to my estimate, so I'm good with both of them. Number 4. Key here, use benchmark percents. What are our benchmark percents? 1, 5, 10, 25, 50, and 100. Yes. And all I'm doing is I'm using those to figure out this number. So for 7%, you have 2 options. I could either go 5 and 2 ones. I personally would prefer to go 10 and subtract 3 ones. So that's what I'm going to show you because 10% is easy. All I'm going to do is take my decimal over 1, so that's 2 and 6/10. So 10% is 2 and 6/10. 1%, now I move it twice, so that's going to be 26 hundredths. But I'm subtracting 3 of them. So I do 2600 times 3 gives me 2 decimal places, 1878. So I'm taking 2 and 6/10 and I'm subtracting 7800. Bless you. Adding in my trailing zero gives me a 5, 2, 8, 1, and 82 hundredths. Regardless of how you do it, you will come to that answer if you do it correctly. Okay? My next one, to me, this one's easier. So that one is just 3 10s and a 5. 10%, I just move it once. So that's 14 and 2 10s. 5 is half of that, so that's going to be 7 and 1/10. But I need 3 of those, so I'm going to do 14.2 times 3. Gives me 6, 12, 4. And I put 1 decimal place in for 42 and 6/10. Plus my 7 and 1/10 gives me 7, 9, 4. So that one is going to be 49 and 700. Okay, we got 2 more parts on this one still. We got 28%. So that one again, I'm going to go 30, minus 2. So 3 10s and 2 1s. 10%, super easy. I just move it once. So I'm going to erase this other part for now. Hope you guys have already done it. Remember, you can always pause the video as you're going in case you need to do that. So I'm doing 3 times 10, which is 9, or 27. When I do 3 times, then I'm doing 2 1s. 1% is I move it twice, which is 9 tenths. So that's 1 and 8 tenths. But I'm subtracting because I went to 30 and I'm coming back. Now I add my decimal. Gives me a 2, 25, and 2 tenths. And our last one, 22. Now in here I would go 2 10s and then add 2 1s. That's supposed to be a 1. So 10%, I just move it once. So that's 2 times 10, or 86 and 4 tenths. But I'm going to double that. So 86 and 4 tenths times 2. And 1 decimal gives me 8, 12, 17, 1 decimal. So that's 172 and 8 tenths. And then I do 2 times 1%, which is 8 and 64 hundredths. So the only thing that's going to change, my decimal's going to move 1 more. So that will be 17 and 28 hundredths. That's 17 and 28 hundredths plus my 172 and 8 tenths. Then I put the 20 and the 2 together. 10, 10, 190, and 8,000. Should have been your answer. Pardon me. Any questions on your benchmark percent? Okay. Now we're into number 5. Number 5 says we've got every 5 pages that they have to print. The printer messes up 3 of them. Create a ratio table. So there's our first task.
That's number 4.
Okay, number 4. To display the number of pages the printer would mess up, then create a graph. So we have 2 parts. Be sure to label the axes and title the graph. So I didn't give you a graph paper this time. We will have a graph for you on the actual test. I'm going to erase this part over here for now so I have room to do all of this. But the first thing we need to do is our ratio table. So in our ratio table, what are the 2 things we're comparing? Showing the number of pages and the number messed up. Using their terminology, right? So what they gave us, they said for every 5, it's messing up 3. So my ratio table should look something like this. Does it say how many entries I needed? No, but if it says, you need to make sure you do all of them. Like on the last test you just handed back where it said you had to do 1 through 6 minutes. A lot of you only did 1 rate. That didn't work. We now also need to do a graph. So I need to have my x and my y-axis. What is the x-axis? According to how my table is set. Should be my top one. My y is the bottom. So when I label my graphs, I should have whatever I used as labels on my ratio table. That should be now my labels on my graph. Okay? It also says title. We haven't really talked so much about titles, but we should have a title. What is this problem about? Printers.
1980 printer.
And technically, it's more about printer pages. Yeah?
Yeah.
Last thing is our intervals. Because they didn't tell us what intervals we have to use, I'm going to use the intervals straight off of my ratio table. It'll make it easy. So I'm going to use the intervals 5, 10, 15 for my x-axis, 3, 6, and 9 for my y-axis. To make it all easy, because now when I plot my points to create the graph, I'm literally just plotting where those intersect. Do not forget to use a ruler. If you don't use a ruler and draw a straight line on this, you will be losing points. Let me say that again. If you do not use a ruler and make a straight line on this, you will be losing points on the test. So everybody understand that?
What if I use a ruler, but it's not like a perfectly straight?
So not use a number, which is a whole other issue. One thing I will add, make sure you put an arrow at the end. This line goes on forever. Your line should have an arrow. Okay? Questions on your graph. Guys, I'll be honest. Just one problem, there is a lot of points in here. You have points for setting your table up correctly, for making sure you have all the intervals shown. You have points on the graph for your title, for your label, for the actual line. So just one problem is going to be a lot of points on your test. Then you're in trouble. Okay, let's and remember, this is our end of module test. That means this should be a 50-pointer. 50, 50. So basically, this is like half of your grade for the quarter so far. The strong goods, let's make sure you have the sports goods store stocked with enough equipment. He surveys 240 of those equipment asks which one sport they're most likely to buy sports equipment for the season. How many of the customers surveyed will need baseball equipment? So there's our question. How many will need wrestling? Please stop with the rulers. They're not meant to beat on stuff. I had my back to you. I don't know who it was, but stop it. Okay. On this one, the key is they gave us how many they surveyed, yes? So when I set on my proportions, I know my whole. I want baseball. Baseball is 20%. We know by definition is over 100. We know the survey was out of 240. Technically, I could step this back, but because it's 100, I know I'm multiplying this by 2.4. I'm just taking, dividing that one by 100. So I can multiply this by 2.4. 2.4 times 20 is going to give me 48. So 48 need baseball. Make sure you're answering in full sentences. Have we hit that enough yet this year? You guys understand that? Anyone not understand it? Okay. And then the second one was wrestling. Wrestling is 15%. I still know it's out of 240, so I'm still multiplying by 2 and 4 10. So I multiply by 2 and 4 10. 2 and 4 tenths times 15. 1 decimal place. 20, 10, 12, 0, 4, 2, 0, 6, 3. 1 decimal place means there are 36 customers who want wrestling. That's a 36. So those two should go relatively quickly, guys. Whole key is remembering that it's out of 100. Maybe well, that was one of the worst times you could think of to leave, but whatever. Okay, at Union Middle School, we have 99 boys, or 36% play basketball. How many boys attend? So in other words, they've given us a part, we need to find the whole. We start again with our proportion, 36%. And I know that the part is 99, but I don't know what my whole is. Can I go straight from 36 to 99? Not easily. So can I look to simplify 36 and 100? Yes. Step back, guys. Look for the step back. That goes 18 to 50. 18 to 99. Will that go?
Yes.
Not really. Can I step back? Yes. Gives me 9 and 25. Can I go 9 to 99?
Yeah.
Sometimes you might have to do multiple step backs. That's okay. I basically guarantee you the problem will, because I can do it. So now I'm doing 25 times 11. Gives me 25, so 275. So there are 275 students. There's boys. Okay, our last one on this page. The graph shows the cost of ordering stockings from an online store. Write each point as a ratio. So I'm doing a ratio, number of stockings to total cost. You must pay attention to the order they told you. They gave us 4 data points. That means I should have 4 answers. So my first one is going to be, I'm going to just start at the unit rate of 1. One stocking, 2. And what's halfway between 4 and 6? Or 4 and 8, sorry, I gave it to you. $6, meaning 2 stockings is going to be $12. 3 stockings is going to be 18. 4 stockings is going to be Did I have to use the graph once I had my first one?
Nope.
Not really, but you can use the graph to verify if you want to. And then, how much would an order of 8 pairs of stockings cost? Explain the method. So we got 2 parts. How would it cost? Explain my method. For me, I'm just going to double the 4 to get to 8. So 8 stockings would cost $48. I just doubled from 4 pairs and $24. Any questions on the first page? Okay, let's go to the second page. A banquet hall is preparing a wedding with 312 guests. 1 table will seat 8 guests. How many tables will be needed? This is just a straight up division problem, guys. 312 divided by 8 will go into 3. 31 is going to go 3 times. 24 gives me 72 is going to go 9 times. Table, so glad you're back. But please stop talking. I'm trying to record. So they need 39 tables. Okay. Next, this comes right off your conversion charts. Do not lose these. I don't intend to hand more out on the test on Friday. Gave out way too many today. You were told to keep these the first time. But all I'm doing, and every one of these is going to start the same. So I'm going inches to centimeters, right? So what I would do is I would start right on my conversion chart. Actually, what I would do is fill in this first. Make sure you have everything labeled. If you set it up like this, the rest is easy. Because I know I'm going to be doing inches, right? So if I get an option, I'm going to find 1 inch. Because that's going to make it easier for me. And I can see on my chart 1 inch is 2 and 5/400 centimeters. How do I go 1 to 24? Times 24. Okay? Here's why I say to do this, guys. I also have that 1 centimeter equals 3/900 of an inch. That would be a value, a conversion I could use, but the math is going to be way more difficult. If you find the one that they give you and go to 1 for that, it's going to make your math easier. All it's just saying, I'm taking 2 and 5/400 times 24. I've got 2 decimal places, meaning 16, 21, 8, 9, 10, 6, 0, 8, 10, 4, 5, add them up, 6, 7, 0, 6. I put my 2 decimal places in my answers. So that is 60 and 7,600 centimeters. Okay, our next one. We're going quarts to cups. Quarts to cups. But they're telling me I need 6 quarts. So I look at my conversion chart. This is U.S. customary. It says 1 quart is 3 pints. A pint's 2 cups, but it doesn't actually give me a quart to cup. But if it's 2 for a pint and then 2 for a cup, how many is that to a cup?
4.
4. So I can either do a double conversion or you can do that one in your head. I'm okay with that. Meaning I'm now multiplying by 6. 4 times 6 gives me 24 cups. Next one, feet and meters. I'm going to 18 feet. So now I'm going to use the 1 foot conversion. So I look at my chart, 1 foot is about 3/10. So now I'm going times 3. No, I'm not. I'm going times 18. Sorry, guys. Times 18. I have that 3/10 on my mind. So I'm doing 18 times 3/10. 1 decimal place, 24, 5 and 4/10. So it's going to be about 5 and 4/10 meters. Then we have 5 miles and kilometers. Miles, kilometers. Because I'm doing the miles, I'm going to go to the 1 mile, approximately 1 and 6/10. So I know I'm going times 5, times 5. 1 and 6/10 times 5. 1 decimal place, 38. It's going to be about 8 kilometers. E, you're not going to do. I'm not going to make you guys do a double conversion. Colin, question? What? Yeah, it's not on there. That's why I said I'm not going to make you guys do a double conversion. So, guys, you shouldn't be talking right now. Number 10. I have room down here, so I'm going to come down. So 34.95 for 5 pounds. And I want to know which is a better deal, so I'm going dollars per pound. 5 is going to be easier, so I'm going to divide by 5. You get me down to 1, so I'm going to do 34.95 divided by 5. Won't go into 3. 34 is going to go 6 times. Gives me a 4. Bring down my 9. That's going to be 9. This will come straight up. 45 gives me a 4. 45 gives me another 9. So this one is going to be $6.99 a pound. My second one gives me $46 for 8 pounds. So again, I'm going to do dollars per pound. Because my 8 is an easier number, I'm going to divide by the 8. So I'm going to do 46 divided by 8. It's going to go 5 times, gives me 40. 6 gives me 7. 56 gives me a 40. There's a 5. So that's going to be $5.75. So which is the better deal? 8 pounds. If you do not write which one is the better deal, you don't get half the points. You can have all that work and get half credit because you didn't answer the question. Okay? So the 8 pounds is the better deal. Make sure you have identified which one it is. The last one here is now $24.50 for 3. I'm just going to abbreviate it notebooks for now. Again, it's going to be easier to go 3 to 1. So I'm going to divide there, divide by 3, divide by 3. So that's going to go 8.16 repeating. So we'll round that to $8.17. You can do the math on that one separately if you need to. Our second one is $42.50 for 5 notebooks. This is one of those cases where I would reverse, even though it said 5 to 42. Keep my proportions the same. I would go ahead and reverse that, and that's okay. So I'm going from 5 down to 1, meaning I'm dividing by 5. Divide by 5, that's going to go 825, 850, which is better, 817 or 850. 817 is a better deal, so 3 notebooks is the better deal. Okay, our next one, better gas mileage. We got 325 miles. Again, 325 miles in 13 gallons. Guys, please set your proportion up just like this immediately. If you will do this, it's going to help you immensely. And now I'm just going from 13 down to 1. So I'm dividing them both by 13. So 325 divided by 13 won't go into 3. 32 is going to go twice. 26 gives me a 6. 5, that's going to be 5. So this one is going to be 25 miles per gallon. My second one gives me 420 miles on 19 gallons. So I want to know how many miles in a gallon. So I'm going to divide by 19. I'll take my 420, divide it by 19. That's going to go twice, gives me 38. That's going to be a 40, so that's going to go twice again. Minus 38 is still giving me a tough. I really don't need to go any further. So we'll leave it right there. So that one is 22 and 1/10. Which one's better, 25 miles a gallon or 22? 23. So the car A is better. A is better. Let me rewrite that. Car A. Yes.
Instead of just saying, oh, name, can you just like name it and then just like put in a
As long as you've got it all shown. Okay, I'm going to erase this part. Space and do the next couple. So I hope you guys were able to get all that down and get a remember on the video. You can always rewind. So our next one, we have 278 miles on 18 gallons. Guys, I'm hearing way too much chatter behind me. Please stop. So again, I'm going to go down to 1 gallon. Again, I'm dividing by 18. So 278 divided by 18. That's going to go what? Gives me 98. That's going to go five times. Yep, 90. 80. So that's going to go 15.4. I'm not going to go any further than that. We'll see if we need to. My second one gives me 158 on 11. Same deal. Miles, gallons. Go fill in all of your units. The rest of it should work its way out. So I'm dividing by 11. 158 divided by 11 is going to go once. 48 is going to go 4 times. 40 is going to go 3 times. So 14 and 3/10. Those aren't true rounding, but so that the 14, I already know that the first one is better. So in this case, then A is better. Okay, Lynn's traveling. She's changing to 200 to pesos. Exchange rate is 19 and 2900 pesos per US dollar. How many pesos should you expect? Guys, we start with our conversion rate. So I know that $1 is 19 and 2900 pesos. And I know it's going to equal some dollars over pesos. The nice thing is they gave us the easy conversion because they did the 1. So I'm just multiplying by 200. So 19 and 2900 times 200. I have 2 decimal places, but ironically, I also have 2 zeros. This is going to work out well. 18, 15, 5, not 15, 18, 3. Put in my 2 decimals. So that is 3,858 pesos. There will be 3,858 pesos. Okay. Graph each rate in the given pair on a coordinate plane. Explain whether or not the rates are equivalent. Guys, this should be the easiest one on the entire test if you do it properly. We will give you the graphs on the test. So it'll look something like this. It's going to have flour in cups and sugar in cups. And it'll give you some type of rate on this one. I'm guessing I'm probably doing it by 5 for the flour. On the sugar, it looks more like 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8. So you're going to do the 2. So 15 cups, I've got 8 and 2,500. So I'm going to go just past the 8. On the 5 cups, it's 2 and 7,500. So it's going to be somewhere in here. You draw your line through here. Here is the key. If it goes through origin, they are equivalent. If it doesn't, they are not equivalent. That's what should make it. Second one, I'm going to do the exact same thing. The graph will already be there for you. All you're going to need to do is put it into, basically plot the points. So this one's going kind of by 50s, I would go by. I need a couple extra. 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. And then hours, it looks like we're going by 1. So 245 miles, so just for that, 3.5 hours, should be somewhere around here. 150 miles, 2 hours. You can see that one is not going to origin. That's your test, guys.
If I make this line